welcome to another fun video. As you can tell by the title, I will be showing you guys how to make apple roses. They're really fun and simple and cute, and a lot of the things that you need to make them you probably already have in your home. And so I'm making this because I'm going to a Christmas party tomorrow where you have to bring a dish. And I just think that they're, like I said, just really pretty and they just taste really good. It's like a handheld apple pie, but in the shape of like a cute rosy cupcake. So I'm going to be showing you guys everything that you need to make them and a step-by-step on how to make them. So thank you, let's get started. Alright, so for ingredients, I don't think it matters what type of apple, but I do always pick a red apple just to make the petals. But we got the Blue Ridge Macintosh, and then I use puff pastry sheets. I usually do get Pepperidge Farm, but it doesn't matter. Apricot preserves of any kind, cinnamon. I used the juice about a half a lemon, and then here's a bowl of warm water to keep the petals in. And then I have a mandolin, which is pretty much just like a slicer to get the thin slices, but I'll also do it with a knife to show you how I do that. And you need a cupcake pan. So first we're going to prepare the apples, but while we're doing that, leave this out so it has time to thaw. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is halve your apples. So next you're going to pit it, so you're going to cut like a half circle right here so it makes almost like a rainbow shape. An apple core would probably save you a lot of time if you just got the core out first and then halved them, but I didn't have one of those, so you can also do it this way where you have them first and then cut out the center. And they also don't have to be perfect, the core just needs to be out. And then so we have the lemon, so once these start turning brown and you start making the petals, just squeeze about half a lemon into the warm water so they don't turn brown if you're worried about that. Alright, so this is a mandolin, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's pretty much just a slicer, and then I keep this under here just so it catches them all so they don't go on the counter. And you want to do it this way when you go down so it makes the petals and cuts the right shape. As you can see, there's some stuck under there, but they're the right shape though. And for those of you who don't own a mandolin, all you have to do is cut it in the same way and just try to cut it as thin as you can, which is a little bit more difficult and it'll be a little bit harder to work with, but it still does the same thing. And whenever I get a decent stack of petals, I put them in the bowl so they don't get all brown and gross looking. For the next step, you're just going to put some all-purpose flour on your countertop, and then we're going to get out our puff pastry sheets and roll them out. You can tell this part's going to be muted.
That's the worst flour pouring I've ever seen in my life.
Next, you can use a knife or a pizza roller to cut it in strips, probably about like that wide, so like a little over an inch. So in just a second, you're going to see me smush the strips just to be a little bit wider. Instead of doing that, you could also just cut them wider, maybe about like 1.5 inches, or you can just roll it out more so you have more room to cut and just cut a little bit extra. It's just better to have more than less because you have to make sure that it's able to fold over the petals. As you can see, I started to cut them slightly bigger and bigger as I kept going. So then I just kind of smushed them just a little bit because you have to be sure that you can lay down the slices and then fold them over and be able to roll it. Alright, and then on this plate I have a little bit of water because you water down your preserves just a little bit. I'm sure you don't have to use apricot preserves, you can probably use whichever one you want. And then you can also water it down as much as you want, so it just depends on how thick and jelly-like you want it. Alright, so you're going to want to take some of your preserves and then just put it all the way across and prepare it for the petals. With your preserves, you can also add cinnamon, extra sugar, caramel, or whatever you'd like to it. Alright, so next you're just going to take your little rainbow-shaped petals and just layer them nice and close, sticking up out of the top. Just a little bit, and it really just depends on how close you put them is just how many petals you want. So you can make it like a nice full rose, or you can just make one with just enough to get it by. Right, so after you've picked out like all your petals and they don't have to be perfect, then you just kind of flip this over, leaving them sticking out just a little bit. So kind of like this. And then you can use like the half rainbows and stuff too, just as long as you have like an arch coming out of the top. Then you can double layer them or pretty much just do whatever you want. And then you just tuck in this first piece and begin to roll. Make sure that your pan is ready, because once you roll it, you kind of just have to stick it somewhere for it to fit. And if it starts slipping out, just kind of do what I'm doing and push it. Push the petals in. And everything should be good. And there you have it. A nice little rose. Alright, so moving on to the second one, we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to pick out, we're going to do less this time, just to show you what it would look like if we just did the bare minimum of petals. And like I said, you only need an arch at the top, so it doesn't matter if the rest of it's messed up, so it's okay if you're not the best at cutting or if your mandolin just didn't do the best job. Alright, so now we're going to fold it over and just make sure they're all tucked in pretty good. And the nice thing about this is that it stretches pretty good, just in case you did cut it a little too small. And then I'm going to start at this end and roll it up. Don't forget to make sure that your petals are tucked in. As you can see, one of mine is poking out, but hopefully right now it'll get tucked in to the next row. And there you go. And then you just pop it into your pan. Now you put it in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes at 375 degrees. We were one short just because, I don't know, we didn't cut the dough quite right on the second batch. So I just did like a little roll up. And so we're going to see how that cooks. So the oven is preheated and now we're going to load it up with what we've got. And then we're working on our second batch, and then we still have more phyllo dough. So we're going to make even more because apparently we bought way too much. So there we go for, like I said, 40 to 45 minutes or until golden brown. Alright, so here they are just sizzling and bubbling away. They look like they're doing pretty good, but they're not quite brown yet. Alright, so they're out of the oven and now we're just popping them out. And I'm just using tongs to kind of swivel and pick them up. Alright, so this is batch number 2, and we could have made 2 more of these, but instead, since we had so many, we decided to just do whatever. So this is Jake's. It's just pretty much a tower of swirls, a little bit of cinnamon on top, and I tried to make mine look more like a pie. It did look more like a snowflake, like the top, but then when I put it on, it kind of got messed up. So I went with like a heart and little slits of apple. So we're going to see how they do in the oven. This is batch 2. Alright, so this is our second batch, but which one do you guys think is better? This one's Jake's, and this one's mine with the little heart. Dun, dun, dun. Alright guys, so that's it for this video, and I hope that you guys give this a try and had fun watching. Bye! Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell if you'd like. Instagram is Patricia Pierce _ and new videos every Sunday.